For this week in Philosophy 101, you'll be using our online library and our library guide for the first part of your philosophical essay assignment. In this video, I'll walk you through how to access our online library if you don't know how, and how to get to our library guide for the course and for this assignment. So one way to do this is to go to our homepage for Philosophy 101. That's this here. And then click on the library in the box on the left towards the bottom under links. So I'm clicking on library. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's small, but once you're there, you'll be able to see it. So now where we are is we're in our online library. There's a couple of different ways that you can get to our library guide for Philosophy 101. One way to do it is this way. Click on Program/School Portals. And that'll bring up a page, and down here you'll see that this is a list of featured guides. You can click on Popular Guides because Philosophy 101 is a popular course and we use this guide quite a bit. And you'll find Philosophy 101 Introduction to Philosophy Course Guide down here at number 4. You can click on that and it'll send you to our library guide. Another way to do this, if you're looking at our syllabus, is if you go to the instructions for our philosophical essay, you'll see links in our syllabus. And if you're online, you can click on those links and it'll send you right to this page here. Actually, it'll send you to the page before that where you'll have to select the particular library guide. So just remember that it's PHIL, meaning standing for philosophy, PHIL 101, and that'll get you to the library guide. So let's go back to that syllabus. I'm on page 4 of the syllabus, and these are the instructions for our philosophical essay. Here are 5 possible questions that you could pick from to answer. And then down here, when we discuss the part 1 of the essay, you're going to be submitting for the first part of the philosophical essay a clearly articulated thesis statement and a selected list of appropriate sources using our library guide. So here you have to identify one encyclopedia source, identify a secondary source, number 3, identify one primary source, and then 4, identify at least one journal article database. Now that corresponds to this area here in our library guide. In this little module here titled Philosophical Essay Assignment Guide for Philosophy 101, you'll see the drop-down box corresponds to those 4 sources. So the first one is an encyclopedia source. In the drop-down box, we have an encyclopedia reference from the actual library, our online library, or if you select this one, the second one down, it's an encyclopedia from the open web. An example would be the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy or the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Those are both open web encyclopedia references. They're both peer-reviewed, so they'd both be appropriate for a college-level course in philosophy for a research paper. Keep going down, you see secondary works, that would be secondary sources, primary works or primary sources, and then the last one, if you clicked on that, that would send you to a list of our journal article databases in the library. The only other thing that I want to mention here is that the difference between a primary source or a primary work and a secondary source. Primary work would be something like René Descartes' Meditations on First Philosophy. That's primary because René Descartes wrote that. A secondary source would be maybe someone like Anthony Kinney's works on René Descartes' Meditations on First Philosophy. So he's interpreting Descartes' works. That would be a secondary source. Now, if you have trouble and need an example of what this assignment should look like, you can go to the syllabus and look at page 5, and I give you an example. Here's my thesis statement. Here's my list of resources, and in those lists of resources, I describe how each resource is going to work. I recommend that you look through this. Now, I note that this is an example, so I do not expect this to be copied word for word. So you have to come up with your own. But you can use this as an example both for format and sort of structure. So that should do it. I look forward to seeing your assignment and seeing you online.